Technology today is no longer limited to only computers and TVs. It has gone to IoT, it has gone to AI, it has gone to data services as well. We know exactly how in this war the data science and IoT has played a major role. Today we are joined by an IoT expert who has more than 32 years of experience into data science management. How AI can be implemented in the surveillance systems of traffic control and everything.
Detect which lane needs to be prioritized for a green light.
When we are making a flyover, we are making it according to the induced limit.
Very, very correctly said. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But still, I feel personally that people are still less using the public transport and using their private vehicles more.
The last mile needs to be planned properly.
Because we want to go faster into technology, we want to go, very quick into, implementation part.
I feel Indians are very, very smart and intelligent when it comes to getting educated themselves and starting using whatever services are available around.
The huge population, we need faster networks. So what do you think? What is the future of 5G?
We should have a good backbone of fiber optics across the towers that is delivering the 5G services.
There are many countries which are right now using the 3D Google Maps. We are still on 2D.
Better visualization is the only thing that I can think of.
Sir, in your 32 years in telecom and IT, what is one moment that completely changed how you see the technology in the cities?
It's a very general question because 32 years is a long period. So I have been into technology right from day one after I was out of the college. So I started with Wipro, moved on to Aptech, IBM, and so on. And I was with Reliance when the CDMA was being launched in India. And so I have always been in forefront of basically the latest technologies that were being basically talked about in the country, whether it was Wipro, the latest computers that were being introduced, in Reliance, the latest communication network that was being set up, which was supposed to be world class, and so on. So I think from a telecom perspective, the introduction of the Reliance's mobile services in India was one of the turning points because it changed the way the data was consumed by the common citizens, and it basically propagated the use of data into the common man, and it helped to basically it became the basic platform on which a lot of other what do you call it specific services could be basically designed and delivered to citizens. So I think that that particular period, somewhere between 2000 2004, when Reliance came in aggressively in the telecom, that I think was a turning point in the ICT industry, because that was also the time when the telecom and sort of IT technology was started to be spoken about as a common ICT kind of industry.
Amazing, sir. So any particular project you have worked on where you feel like it has changed people's daily lives directly?
Well, I was part of the team that launched the Reliance mobile services in Gujarat. I was part of the team that launched the mobile, what you call it, internet services of Reliance in Gujarat. I was associated with some initial very large-scale CCTV projects that were planned in India. So from that perspective, I feel I have been in a part of some really good projects that were conceived in India. I was also part of the project that basically tried to launch video telephony in India. Means BSNL had some project that in mind, which for which I was part of that team that was basically associated with the project. So these were all means whatever projects I'm mentioning. There was at that particular time were quite innovative projects, and there were a lot risk-taking projects, and some of them went on to become good, means successful, and some of them have not taken off, and but they have means evolved in a through a different vendor through in a better way.
So, like, as Indians, we feel like IT wise, we are very good actually. Technology wise, we are very good. But when it's about adapting the technology, we are lacking somewhere. What do you want to say about that?
That again depends on the citizens' ability to consume the technology, use the technology, and of course, most important part is basically how the technology is means whether technology is affordable or not. It's just like any other new thing that comes in market. Even just we were basically discussing that parking thing that is available in
Yes.
Ahmedabad city. Even though such good facilities for parking, such big buildings for parkings are made available, people are not aware of it. If they're aware of it, there's some resistance to basically use it, and people are not. It's not fully utilized. The capacity. So that same thing holds true for the technology also. It all depends upon the citizens who are willing to take the initial risks and jump in and use it for their betterment.
So, sir, as a citizen, I ask you one thing that India is building roads, flyovers, and metros rapidly,
Yeah.
right? Yet cities remain chaotic, right? In the core problem of infrastructure shortage, or is it an like lack of intelligence system?
It is actually both, and there's a third factor also to which I will come before I talk about these two. See, infrastructure shortage is definitely there. That's why you see a lot of construction activities happening. A lot of infrastructure related projects getting implemented across the country. Whichever city you go, you will see road is one of the most common infrastructure that has been missing, and that is being right now focused upon. Similarly, flyovers over the crossroads, there most of the cities are having projects going on. Metros, last 10-15 years, the adaptable means a lot of new projects are coming in, which are again basically getting means implemented, and people are slowly starting to use it. So infrastructure, missing infrastructure definitely adds to the chaos. Apart from that, the way the infrastructure is designed and implemented, that is another big issue that exists. For example, let's say I'm from Ahmedabad, so and I use this SG highway on a regular basis. Means daily, I commute on that road for almost 30 kilometers daily. So I can give you good examples from that. See, SG highway, so many. I've seen it when there was no flyovers in that road. Today it has developed, and there are a lot of maybe 15-20 flyovers between Sarkej and Gandhinagar. Now, when this road has been constructed, there has no planning gone for how pedestrians will be accommodated on both sides of the road, how pedestrians will cross the road at important junction. So today, if you see, there are many points. In fact, I myself have avoided accidents twice. There are many points where just people when they want to cross the SG highway, just raise their hand, try to stop the traffic, and just wade through the busy traffic, irrespective of whether it's a lean hour or a peak hour. So the way infrastructure has been developed also adds to the chaos. First is missing infrastructure. Second is improper design of the infrastructure. Third thing is missing electronics also. Let's say the intelligent systems also, we can say. Intelligent systems, normally what I have seen is most of the thing for the basic infrastructure comes, then the intelligent systems are added to it, and slowly that gets started using it. In intelligent system also, there's a lot of resistance from both sides, the citizen side as well as from the authorities, to basically implement or follow the services of that intelligence system. So I feel that both of the both of these things adds to the chaotic traffic. But the most important point is the civic sense of the citizens. See, you can have the best of the infrastructure, you can have the best of the intelligence system, but if the citizens still do not behave in a disciplined way, if they do not follow the means provisions of the infrastructure that's designed for them, or the best use practice, best usage, they don't use it to the best of the whatever systems that have been provided, it's going to lead to chaos. I'll again talk about these roads. See, in roads, more than 90% of people are overtaking on SG highway from wrong side.
True.
More than maybe 60 to 70% of the free left turns are always blocked when you reach, if you want to take a free left turn in a traffic signal.
True.
More than it's very common that just to avoid few hundred meters of extra journey to comply to the prevailing laws of traffic, people go on the wrong side.
True.
Okay, so then another simple things like people with elbowed or slow moving traffics are there in the fast lane, which is again now forcing all other people to break the traffic by overtaking from the wrong side.
True.
So all these kinds of issue are there. So while best of the infrastructure can be there, best of the intelligence systems and surveillance systems can be there, unless the civic sense of the citizens improve, nothing is going to help. We will continue to live a chaotic life in a better infrastructure and better system.
Very well said, sir. That if we are lacking a civic sense, we will continue to live the chaotic life in a better infrastructure. There's a very good statement, sir. Like, I want to understand, because every of my guest has first raised a question about our civic sense, right? We consider us ourselves educated. We consider ourselves, progressive people, though we are the one who are not following the civic sense in India. Why do you think this is, like, big issue we every day face, but we don't want to take a responsibility towards it?
Well, civic sense is something that evolves from the culture itself. So it's a very difficult question for me to answer. But I have just brought out my personal frustrations that I experience that when I move around in the city, or when I move wherever in the city or some other city.
I want
So
to
these are the problem are typical across the country, I
I
believe.
understand, sir, but when we, as we want to follow the civic sense, but there are the group of people around us who sometimes forces us to break that civic sense, because they don't want to, be proper into rules and regulations. So every one of us have a group of people surrounding, like, surrounding us. So if we, like, see their mentality, you must have seen those mentality. You must be having some people in your family or friend circle who are not interested to follow the civic sense. So what do you think? What is their mentality? Why do they want to do that?
I think one of the most important point that I can think of is lack of correct thing to do. Maybe, let's say civic sense. When you break a rule, you're basically we are relating it to civic sense. So maybe out of the 90% who are, let's say, overtaking from the wrong side, maybe more than 60% from that 90% are not even aware that. Maybe you cannot overtake from this particular what left side. You are supposed to always overtake from the right
So
side.
you are
So that
trying.
could be one, lack of awareness about the rules. That could be one of these things. Second thing, um, as I told you, they are forced to do it because someone else who is not aware that he is supposed to move in a slower lane, if he is moving slowly and safely, he is basically sort of forcing others to also break. That could be another reason.
So there is another debate leading to this. Is there are two possible options to correct this. One is making people aware and educate them about the rules, regulations, and things.
Exactly. Yeah.
The other thing is imposing fines.
Yeah.
Right? There
Yeah.
are two ways. Which one, like, you support and you think will produce the better results out of this too?
I think we should start educating the people. I think this what the problem I has told. I think it's very normal, means common. Maybe everyone knows about this problem. Maybe these days when I drive, I come across some in some radio, in FM radio, some kind of education session that has been started about the traffic sense, like don't block. I think these days they are talking about not blocking the
The left
free
side,
free left
free
turn.
line.
Okay, so maybe that kind of lot of more initiative should be there from the transport department or from some other organizations that basically inculcates the correct best practices for basically using a infrastructure. Like even like don't spit. Means they create a very good building, create a good metro, and within 1 week you see that walls are all red with spits and all. So those kind of things basically needs to be basically level is give a maybe for a period of time educate the people, the users, as to what they should, what is not an acceptable behavior, or what kind of activities are not acceptable. Once after maybe 1 year or maybe a certain period of continuous
Pilot projects.
yeah, educational attempts through various mediums, maybe then you can start
Imposing.
penalizing them. Maybe penalizing can also be in two phases. Maybe initially just send notices but don't follow up on those notices. But maybe after certain phase of starting the notices, maybe then you can start penalizing them. Like these days, I think for traffic, some traffic violation for some particular places, those what do you call it? E-challans are being issued.
Yes.
So they are means that kind of activity should start. That for other kind of violations also. I think this wrong side driving, red light jumping, then wrong side overtaking. All these things also should slowly be integrated. These days, two-wheelers, I think a lot of people are getting those challans for not wearing helmet, and but
True.
those things are again manual intervention done at each of the junction. So for that kind of manual intervention, you will need a huge task force, which is
Surveillance
yeah,
systems also.
surveillance system. Yeah, so it needs to be automated. Right now, as I said, if you do it manually, like you're doing with a mobile phone, all police and all chalks, you need a very big,
I'm
big.
leading to that point only. Like, if we talk about the challans, e-challans or something, or fining people, or maybe the educating people, we are 140 crore plus. So, like, to reach this much of population, the human, reaching has a limitation. There is only a technology which can solve the problem. So, when it comes about surveillance systems on the traffic and infrastructure part, what is your overall point of view on Indian traffic surveillance systems, which is based on IoT and data communication?
See, again, any system is constantly evolving.
Evolving, true.
Okay, so we started with this traffic system in which you have every lane is getting a certain amount of time for basically green light, so that vehicles in that lane can move on. Okay, so fixed time, let's say traffic signaling, that's what we can say. Okay, so now certain junctions people have started introducing this automatic adaptive traffic control system, wherein there are IoT sensors that basically senses the density of vehicles in different lanes, and accordingly does gives more time to those lanes, more time of green light to those lanes which is having more traffic. More, okay, so that kind of systems, one, so though means some cities have it, some cities are doing it in a pilot phase, and many cities have planned and are in process of implementing. So that kind of a system will definitely help in reducing the congestion. And coming to the main point that we're discussing also about violations and enforcing the rules. For that also, there are a lot of intelligent traffic management systems available, in which you have basically cameras and various sensors. It detects and captures images of people breaking the rule. So wrong side driving. So there are intelligent systems which basically based on the a particular movement of vehicle in a lane, it can detect whether it is moving the right side or wrong side. If it's moving the wrong side, it can issue a e-challan automatically. Then there are some junctions are having red light violation detection. So if someone jumps the traffic, in fact, Indians means there are many smart people who do this adaptive traffic control system themselves. If they see the lane is opposite is empty, they just
They just go.
jump the red light and go. So that is basically ATCS, that the abbreviation for that technology is there. So that can help in basically regularizing that kind of behavior by allowing the busy lanes to use the means you have the green light for more time. And these other, the ITMS that I said has that various systems of detecting red light violation, wrong side driving, wrong parking, and so on, and they issue the e-challan. So again, it has not evolved fully. Some cities have it in a very implemented in very a good way. Some even those cities which have implemented supposed to have been implemented in good way, they have not been able to do it across the cities. So some busy junctions will have it, some main roads will have it, and how these main roads or busy junctions are decided is again a discretion of the local administration. So those systems are there and that can be used to basically enforce the rules and regulations.
गवर्नमेंट और आम आदमी के बीच में एक पूरा चैनल होता है, कंसल्टेंट्स का, एक्सपर्ट्स का, अर्बन प्लानर्स का, आर्किटेक्ट्स का, रोड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इंजीनियर्स का, जो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन सेक्टर को शेप अप करते हैं। हम उन्हीं एक्सपर्ट्स को आपके सामने ला रहे सीधा बात करने के लिए हमारे द बिजनेस एंड बियॉन्ड पॉडकास्ट के थ्रू। ये सिर्फ एक पॉडकास्ट नहीं है, ये इंडिया का सबसे पहला इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर रिलेटेड पॉडकास्ट है। आप भी अगर इस इंडस्ट्री की सच्चाई के बारे में जानना चाहते हैं और इंडस्ट्री से जुड़ना चाहते हैं तो प्लीज़ हमारी चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए। So sir, what you are referring to is right now like taking me to the AI signals and the AI surveillance systems, right? Which is able to monitor themselves, take the data, process the data, analyze the data, and like find out the solution and act according to the solution which the system has already found. So according to you, how AI can be implemented in the surveillance systems of traffic control and everything? Because right now we do have the CCTV cameras, we do have the speed guns monitoring systems, we do have the normal traffic junctions and everything. But right now the AMC has issued a review budget where they are talking about the AI based signals.
Okay.
Right. So I just want to know from your perspective that what we can think of AI into the surveillance systems, the hypothetical or maybe like the solution based thought process which you can think like no, here we can do this kind of implementation.
Okay, so I also came across some news and snippets here and there that a lot of POCs are being done by various companies for demonstrating their capabilities of AI based traffic control system. So I think different different important junctions have been given to some vendors for setting up a POC and demonstrating that. So if I had to basically say what all features should be there, I would basically again refer to whatever I mentioned, that AI particularly based traffic system should be able to basically detect which lane needs to be prioritized for a green light.
True.
Which lane and second thing, who is basically breaking a law, whether it is red light jumping, whether it's wrong side direction driving, or whether it's wrong side overtaking. Okay, wrong side overtaking, if they can find a solution through IoT sensors, nothing like it, because that's the most common thing that is making the traffic on SG highway chaotic. Now, why I am saying is that I've seen this SG highway grow in last 40 years. I've seen it from when it was just maybe double lane road, and now it's a
Huge
fully
6 lane,
flyover
8
without no stop kind of a road. So when the flyovers were coming up, I used to think that now the entire solution has come. Now there will be no further traffic issues as for me to travel from my home to office. Incidentally, my home as well as my office are on SG highway, two different points of SG highway, just 100 meters off. Office is bang on the SG highway. Okay, so I used to think now the flyovers are there and all problems
Problem will
are
be solved.
resolved. But these days, SG highway is so choked with traffic during the peak hours that I can't imagine that if the flyovers were not there, what would have happened to the traffic or how slow it would have moved and so on. So, if you see the peak hours, the road is means from it's bumper to bumper traffic and edge to edge traffic and so on. So, whatever infrastructure comes, people start using it in such a way that it is less, so it has to continuously evolve.
Because the problems are what you said, is we have actually targeted those problems. When we are making a flyover, we are making it according to the induced demand. We are not anticipating and simulating the demand which is coming into 5 years.
Very correctly said. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So because there is an induced demand right now,
Hmm.
so we are finding a solution to solve the problem right now. But when it's made, there's a higher induced demand at that time, and then we are again into that loop of producing more and more flyovers. We are producing more and more alternative routes. But what we have to do is we have to plan the next 10 years infrastructure considering that in mind.
Exactly.
Then and then we can solve the problems of these choked roads right now. But again, the problem is that we have the mentality right now that we are only working to solve our problems in this moment. We are not simulated enough to anticipate the futures, where technology plays an important role. Because as a technical people, we always think of what is possibilities. So, according to you, is there any kind of solutions where there is a possibility to, reduce these chalked highways when they are made?
Oh, yes, there are. Actually, you correctly said. See, innovative planning, what you said, reactive planning is what is happening. Reactive action to basically overcome a busy junction
Busy junction.
or choked road is happening. But innovative planning and proper infrastructure development of the network of roads around in the city in general will definitely help. Again, I'll give you an example of SGIV itself. See, there's a SGIV is choked, okay, but if you see from the stretch from Gotha to Vaishno Devi, the SG highway is being used a lot by people who want to travel within the city.
Yes.
But they have to, the design of or existence of road is such that they have to now move on to the SG highway only, then only they are able to move around in the city.
True.
There has to be alternate routes. See, as SGIV is supposed to be, let's say, a highway that is highways on that also normally maybe intercity travel people should be using it. That will get enforced only if the secondary roads around the highway have been developed very well. So in Gotha area, there's one particular road from Ognach to Charodi that was supposed to have come in existence long back, but till today it has not come. If that particular road comes in existence, or that road Ognash to Sardar Dham on SP Ring Road, it's also
Yes.
it's 100 feet road. It's an important road. 100 feet road not made since last 10-15 years is something I can't means and see what could be the reason of the delay, because apart from that road from Sardar Dham towards the Kalol side, it is made
Excellently
very
made.
well. Wide road is there, and similarly from Ognaj towards Science City and till Sarkhej, means Sarkhej, after Sarkhej means parallel to the SG highway, the spanking new road, excellent wide roads are there. Only the stretch between Ognaj to Sardar Dham or Ognaj to Charodi has been left out. So if this road had been made as per plan long back, the choking of traffic at the Gotha Chowkadi will definitely not
Not
have
happen.
happened. So such alternative road system needs to exist. So why should a citizen who wants to maybe just travel 2 kilometers near his home have to get onto SG highway and then use it for 2 kilometers, then again get off the SG highway? Alternate road should be there. It's not there, at least in the western Gotha side, where again it has a sizable population. Second thing, I'll just tell you that when this SGI was developed, they had basically thought of that. They spent thousands of means close to 1,000 crores on that road. So they have basically thought that traffic should not stop on this road from Sarkesh to Gandhinagar. So only left turns were allowed. If there has to be a right turn, it has to go underneath the flyover.
Flyovers.
So all the right turn openings which were there in the SG highway, right from Sarkesh to Gandhinagar, they have blocked those openings. But while blocking that opening, they have not given any option for basically connecting the, let's say, the eastern side of the highway with western side.
True.
So they will have to either go to the nearest flyover and basically go underneath it and come on the other side. So again, if you talk about Gotha, they have to go to Vaishno Devi or take a U-turn and come back to just to go maybe 200 meters from here to here, or they have to go under the Gotha Chowkadi and go under the Gotha flyover and go to their destination. So that kind of basically, let's say,
Alternative
yeah,
routes.
means unplanned decisions are also, I will say unplanned, because this has happened, this closing of a lot the crossings has happened 2 years back, until today
No solution
no
to it.
solution has come. And maybe 2 years back, they, so people with vehicle can, let's say, spend a few extra rupees on petrol and basically still go there. But what about people who are basic to cross the highway and go to the other side? So realizing the problem, I think maybe 5 to 6 feet over bridges were announced about 1.5 years back, but till today there's no sign of those feet over. So that brings me to the point that I made earlier. People today, if they want to cross from eastern side of the SG highway to western side of the SG highway, they just raise their hand, try to stop the fast moving traffic in a group, and they cross. And as I said, I have screeched and stopped twice in front of such people, and it's a disaster waiting to happen. Maybe abhi tak hua nahi hai, we are lucky. The one day when it happens, maybe a lot of lives will be lost in a single accident. Yeah.
We are already losing lot of lives. The data says that in India there are more than 4.5 lakh road accidents every year, and this is just the data. We don't know the real figures. Real figures may be 3 times, 4 times higher than that. But still, the internal connectivity, the roads infrastructure we are developing, like, on a huge rapid stage. We are showing the bullet trains, we are showing the metros, we are doing lots of public transportation and infrastructure development. But still, I feel personally that people are still less using the public transport and using their private vehicles more. So what is your point of view on that part, and why this is a big gap? Like, when we have so much of public transportation system, still we are using the private vehicles.
Okay, that's means a good question, in the sense that it again basically talks about the citizens' behavior only.
Yeah.
So it's all boils down to the convenience involved, basically. So let's say different modes of travels are evolving parallelly. BRTS has come up, metro is coming up, let's say train is coming up, existing railway network is there, a lot of road network is there. Okay, but the do we have today any single multinodal station or multinodal junction? I don't think we have. I think Kalupur is being developed towards that.
developed, yes.
So it's a question of time only before such more development activities happen, wherein multiple different modes of basically transportations are basically the terminating point or the starting points are basically brought under the same infrastructure, so that we have multi modal junctions which can basically make the entire journey convenient for citizens. For example, if I have to basically use metro from regularly from my home, I will have to basically first go to let's say Thaltej, or maybe some other one more Thaltej. When I decide, so there's no convenient or cheap way to go from my home to Thaltej. That is, we are talking about missing last mile. Last mile is there. I can book a Uber, I can take a rickshaw, I can do all those things. But again, those are not as cheap. Means the purpose of convenience and cheaper mode of transportation is defeated when I do that. I can take my two-wheeler or four-wheeler and or cycle and go to Thaltej and catch the metro. But again, when I go to Thaltej, there's no way I can park my vehicle or whatever vehicle I take and be assured that it is safe. Just like right now, I'm worried about the whether my car is safe in front of that building. We are not sure whether. So, just developing the different modes of transportation is not enough. The infrastructure, and I'm not saying it's not happening, it will happen. The multimodal junctions or stations needs to be developed. The last mile needs to be planned properly, so that also needs to be thought of, and some implementation needs to be done, so that it is convenient for citizens to travel from one place to another using multiple modes of transport. And for doing that, I think many countries have that there are common mobile app that basically helps you to plan your visit from one place to other place, and it will basically pop up with all options of last mile, the metro, the road, and everything. That kind of basically unified, let's say unified mobile transport app needs to be there. Second thing, that is this convenience. I first, when I, let's say, leave from my house to this place, I pay Uber some money, then I buy metro ticket, then I get down at other place, then I take a, let's say, cycle, I basically pay to someone else. So that kind of convenience is also required. So you require a payment platform, payment, let's smart card, or maybe some ticket that is basically usable across the different modes of transport. I think Surat has done some implementation on these lines where they have a common card which can be used in multiple modes of transport. I had recently been to Sydney, where I witnessed a really convenient mode of traveling, wherein I just basically go to a pole and tap my credit card. There's a sensor there. I just tap my credit card and I get on to whatever train that comes. Then the next station, wherever I get down, I again go and tap my credit card. Basically, yeah, and automatically I think that gets. So there's no ticket purchase involved, no ticket station, no person sitting and selling tickets, and so that kind of convenience, if it can be basically brought into this multimodal journey, nothing like it. And I think we being a developing country, we will be bringing in those systems, which will take some time, and but I think one day everyone will reach that kind of uh, with convenient consumption of multimodal transportation. And by that time, I'm sure those people will have still come up with more
Higher
better. Yeah,
technical
yeah.
part and everything. Because there's also my again a common questions to every of my guests, that sometimes we say that for a Sydney or for a Germany or for EU countries, their adapt those kind of technology is quick because of the population. We are highly dense and highly populated country. The education level of Indians is like in comparison low with the developed countries, if we consider Sydney, or if Australia, or any EU countries or America or anything. So there we have certain challenges, right? Because we want to go faster into technology, we want to go very quick into implementation part. But if the users are not educated enough to use the technology, there we are lacking a lot right now. So that is what my point of view. Sir, what is your point of view into it?
I feel Indians are very, very smart and intelligent when it comes to getting educated themselves and starting using whatever services are available around. Um, Today, you know what, we used to think that Instagram, Facebook, and all only educated people, or maybe people at least going to schools will be using. But today, everyone, look at kind of people who are using, all kinds of people are using it, whether it's your people working as maid at your home, or your driver, or everyone is consuming that services. And there are many people who are coming up with a lot of innovative contents also, and having huge following, and how do you call it, likes. I'm sure they must be earning also a lot of out of that. So I don't think uh, education would be a problem, but putting up an innovative service and making it what do you call it, user friendly for consumption, is that is the where the challenge lies. Once you make it very simple to consume it and very cheap to consume it, I don't think it's only a matter of time before everyone starts using it.
Thank you, sir, for clarifying the question which I asked you, because that question is an administrative excuse, which I hear now and then from the administrative departments who are handling these things. But as you wisely said that every people is using Instagram and all, even the uneducated people are using. This should not be an excuse for us, for the country like us, that people are very smart to adapt the technology. So now I'm moving towards your domain question, that we are moving towards 5G networks right now, because internet speed is still slow into countries like India, and compared to other developed countries, because where we want to technically integrate the huge population, we need faster networks. So what do you think, what is the future of 5G into country?
See, 5G has come in, and I think people are talking still ahead also. But in India, if you see, 5G network potential has still not been fully utilized or fully extracted, in the sense that 5G network relies a lot on very solid backbone, fiber optic backbone from you should have a good backbone of fiber optics across the towers that is delivering the 5G services. Okay, but as I am told, in India, maybe around 35 to 40% of the towers that are basically delivering 5G services are only connected through fiber optics. Others are basically through other means. So, considering that fact, there's still a lot of scope to basically extract the full potential of 5G in the country. And I think government has made a lot of provisions in the latest budget also promote the uh, growth of maybe promote the growth of the fiber optics part of the network in the country.
Right. Sir, as 5G is concerned, like, we started from, 2G to 3G to 4G to 5G. Internet's, we can only visibly see the internet speed growing high. What are the other hidden factors which you think that people should understand about the 5G networks? What are the benefits, pros and cons of, high speed networks? What do you think?
High speed network, I think this services, the kind of apps that you can run, the kind of services that you can consume using 5G, uh, those things possibly were not possible with the slower networks. In fact, many banking applications uh, today that we are using with the kind of form that we are the services are available. I think the lower network, it would not have been possible because of bandwidth constraint and so on. So the according to me, there's only pros that I can talk about. The more faster the network, the more efficient the service you have, more services that require more bulky basically bandwidth and all is able to run fast on your device.
If you see, sir, if you have seen Australia, if you have seen the other developed countries, there are many countries which are right now using the 3D Google Maps. We are still on 2D. So 3D Google Maps have been implemented into many countries. So do you think, like, right now we are using 2D Google Maps, 2D, like, going towards 3D Google Maps, what are the benefits according to you going to 3D Google Maps?
It makes the user experience better. You instead of trying to visualize a 2D and you are basically getting the as is kind of uh, image on the screen. So I would say it's more of the 3D maps are highly, I'm sure, must be consuming much more bandwidth than what
Of
a 2D
course.
map is consuming, and but the kind of visual experience that you have, that is of course much better.
Okay.
And apart from that, apart from the visual, the experience, I don't think uh, much difference would be there. Better visualization is the only thing that I can think
Because
of.
I feel, sir, in 3D maps, you can see the vehicles coming from backside. In 2D maps, you are not still able to see those things. That is there any impact where your visibility is limited? So maybe the more accidents can be prevented by the 3D maps. Do you think so?
Vehicles coming from, that's something that
Yes.
I don't have much exposure to. I would like to maybe avoid that.
Right. Okay. Uh, Coming to pedestrians and cyclists, non-motorized vehicle. Right now, you are a part of active cycling group. Um, this kind of activities, we all know that they are very beneficial. If you consider the AQI, if you consider, like, the city traffic situations, because the countries like Germany have highest cyclists who actually professionally also use cycles. We are still lacking into that part, that in day to day commuting we are not use cycling, we are using the cycling as a part of fun activity or the group activity so far. Do you think the cycling or non motorized vehicle should be promoted more right now to solve this AQI and pollution problems and traffic congestion problems into cities?
Yes, and that brings me back to the original very first point that we discussed about the infrastructure. Makes the entire thing chaotic, na? So when my point is that when thousand of crores is being spent for basically building a road infrastructure, can't it include a pedestrian service? Can't it include a cycling track? Okay, if you see, it's excellent road, non-stop traffic can move from Sarkej to Gandhinagar, but doesn't have a cycling track. If it cycling track had been there, maybe some of the accidents that cyclists faced. Recently, we had some doctors also coming
Coming to
under
that,
car
yes.
because early morning while they were cycling. So that kind of things could have been prevented. And second thing is, if cycling is basically developed and given focus and developed very well, the last mile issues, like I wouldn't mind cycling from Thaltej to Thaltej and take a metro after leaving the cycle there. Of course, again the parking issue would have been there, but then some concept like pay and use cycles, that which I think AMC is trying to implement, and my bike, na? But
My
it's
bike,
not,
yes.
it's not present across the city. It's maybe some few places it is there. In my part of the town, I'm not able to see it. So definitely focus should be there on developing separate cycling tracks. Pedestrian footpath is also some very much required. Pedestrian feet over bridges, over busy junctions is required. I don't, do we have any pedestrian foot overbridge in Ahmedabad that you
We
can
do
think?
have at Kakaria, sir.
Kankaria, okay.
At Kakaria, we do have the
Okay.
footbridges right now, but not anywhere
No,
else. I
not
don't
anywhere
see
else,
it.
only in the railway stations we have.
Yes.
Okay, but there are so many busy roads in Ahmedabad. That aspect also needs to be, so pedestrian as well as cycling both needs to be basically focused upon, according to me. But a lot of roads are getting developed. It can be. Recently I visit Pimpri Chinchwad quite often. So they have come up with a very model, what do you call, footpath, how a shoulder of the road should look like. There's a footpath, there's parking, there's a footpath, then there's a cycling track, and then the compound wall of the buildings and so on. But unfortunately, the cycling track gets used by two-wheelers. Again, Civic Sense comes into picture. Cycling track gets used by motorized two-wheelers also, and sometimes auto rickshaw. So it's again boils down to civic sense, education, and all these things are interlinked. Yeah.
So, if we say about, like, the traffic congestions and wasting the time into traffic while commuting, Bangalore and Pune tops the chart,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, I
And
agree
this
with you.
both cities, I say, ironically, are tech cities, right? They are
Yes.
highly technical people. So why this many techies are still not able to solve the problem of traffic into cities like Bangalore and Pune? Because they are facing it day to day. We have very brilliant minds sitting in these cities and working on the issues right now in the form of startups, in the form of many big companies are there who are providing such kind of IT and AI platforms. So why we are not able to solve the problems in these
So
both
I
cities?
would say, from whatever information I have, they have implemented ITMS, they have implemented ATCS, that is Adaptive Traffic Control System, and they have mitigated the problem. Otherwise, the problem is would have been much bigger, but they have reduced and quite means in the comparative terms they have made it lot better than what it was earlier. But still, maybe because of some other reasons, they might be still behind other towns. But those both the towns that you mentioned, means so far as I'm aware of, they have implemented ITMS and they are implemented ATCS also, and they're supposed to have got good returns and results out of
So
that.
can you
And
explain?
many towns are basically looking at them for basically how to basically go about implementing this
So
technology.
can you explain the ITMS and ATS system? Because I think that is very new terms for the uh,
Okay.
viewers.
So,
So if you
so
can explain
ITMS,
technically.
ITMS basically talks about, it's intelligent traffic management system. So it has basically various technologies to basically uh, reduce road congestions through implementation of various IoT sensors, cameras, speed detecting cameras, number plate recognition systems, and all various kinds of systems that will help the authorities to basically implement various kinds of traffic rules and make the reduce the traffic congestion and so on. So basically, it's a system that monitors the traffic movement on the road and basically gives various kinds of alerts or various kinds of support to the administration to basically enforce the law. And in case also, if there are violations like various violations that I mentioned, if there are very traffic violations there, detect them automatically, raise each alarm, and basically basically create a system for enforcing law. So ATCS is also again another aspect of this traffic management system, wherein I mentioned about that sensors that detect the density of traffics in different lanes in a crossing, and then basically deciding the amount of time the green light needs to be on for that
Okay.
particular lane. So normally the earlier conventional traffic signaling system had a fixed time on and off, that green light on and off kind of a system, wherein every lane will get, let's say, 1 minute to of green light to allow their side of traffic to pass. Now, there are situations wherein maybe there's no traffic coming from one particular lane. That time also, in a fixed time system, your
Signal is
signal
working.
is on for green for 1 minute for that particular. So adaptive traffic control system basically senses that there's no traffic from that particular lane or very less traffic from that particular lane, there's more traffic from some other lane, so it will adjust the more timing for the lanes, green light of the lanes in which there's more traffic to be managed. So that way it helps in basically making the existing traffic system uh, more intelligent and more efficient.
Considering that, sir, if you know that Bangalore has started the air taxis, so we are opening a whole new segment of air traffic right now. So they are implementing the solution of air taxis, which can pick you from the airport and drop you in your destination through small air taxis. So I,
I was not aware of
you're
this
not
thing.
aware
Yeah,
of
yeah,
that?
yeah. So, Miss,
It's
has
there.
this started
They've
commercially?
already started the pilot projects
Pilot
running.
project.
Pilot
Okay,
projects
okay,
they have started
okay.
already for that. So that's I must say that in the simple language, they're bigger drones, which
Yeah,
can carrying the people.
yeah.
And if you know, the food delivery has also been started with the drones.
No, but again, it's a pilot or it is commercial
The
operations has
food
started.
delivery has started commercially right
Oh, is
now.
it?
The
Uh-huh.
pilot has completed successfully, but
Okay.
this air taxis carrying humans is on a pilot run right now. So this too can develop a new segment of air traffic. So if you can see hypothetically, what are the challenges into this? How are we going to now crowd the air also with the traffic? Do you think so? Or maybe
Yeah.
this is
So,
a right solution to the traffic issues on the roads.
no, so that was anyway bound to happen. That was bound to happen, means that was anyway planned, wherein drones and drones were going to be used for various activity and so on. Uh, uh, Now that will bring in a new set of what you call it. New set of rules for how to use or how to regulate the airspace on the about the city, and that will again come up with because already there's some regulations available but if you want to fly drones for some commercial purpose or for some survey purpose and all, there is some system available for regulating that particular activity. So similar regulations will basically need to be developed and implemented for this also.
But do you
It
think this
will.
is a possible solution to the traffic on the roads or no?
I don't think because unless that solution is made commercially viable for more people to use it, I doubt it will. So initially, maybe just like in the case of mobile, initially only few people were able to afford. Then Reliance came and it basically,
Disrupt the
yeah,
market.
yeah, it was available for everyone. That means they did things that made everyone adopt it. So that kind of some the thing comes wherein it is affordable and convenient for more and more people to consume the service, definitely it will have. But that time, maybe there will be a lot of regulatory things that needs to be framed for how to use the airspace over the city and so on. I'm sure the people must be working on on that particular aspect also. It's only let's see how things pan out.
So that was, sir, 1 hour of conversation with you, and you were amazing into
Oh, it's
it.
1 hour is over, is it?
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
great.
1 hour, sir.
Okay.
And I would like to conclude this session with a rapid fire question.
Yeah,
That
please.
is what we have for every of my guests. So you just have to quickly answer my question, whichever comes into your mind. So we want to be as genuine as possible, right? So one technology that will transform cities in the next decade, according to you.
Well, digital twins with AI analytics on top of it for the city administrators to simulate situations and plan proactively for various kind of interventions in the city, and of course for citizens to consume the services available in the city.
According to you, sir, smart cities needs more data or better governance?
Smart cities needs better governance, because data, unless processed and actionable insights, it makes actionable insights available to the team into governance. So if the insights available are not acted upon, it's means having the
No
most
use, right?
intelligent
Yeah.
system is of no use. So governance is the most important part. I see all other intelligent systems and infrastructure, all those things are basically tools that will basically at the end of the day help the governance. So governance at any day will be the most important thing. Even without these tools, if governance is proper, maybe things would not be as chaotic as it is today.
True, sir. Right now, the surveillance cameras, according to you, is solving the crime or just monitoring it?
It is evolving, I would say. See, it started with just monitoring. So when you're saying solving the crime, yes, monitoring itself, when it was recorded and stored, it helped in basically solving also, because it was basically uh, available as evidence for crimes that were happening within the field of vision of the camera. Okay, but as we go ahead, even means prediction will should be possible. Crime prediction, predictive analysis of crimes in the cities should be possible, and accordingly the authorities should be able to take proactive measures to reduce the crime.
Okay. In urban technology, one technology which has been highly ignored, you feel, which should be, more given attention to,
Highly ignored.
technology.
Well, I'm I'm not able to think of
Think of
anything.
it.
Yeah. Otherwise, see, most of the things that are getting implemented in cities are top-down driven. Basically, there's someone sitting and taking decision somewhere and basically setting up a guideline कि ऐसा ऐसा होना चाहिए in any city, and that's getting implemented.
I would
So
like to answer it, sir.
yeah,
It's a simulation models, highly ignored.
I won't say it's ignored, because it is evolving. When I said digital twin, what do you do? See, you prepare a digital twin of the city. That's a simulation of the city.
Simulation of this.
On top of it, you have
We
analytics
we
that
do
will.
have the simulation technologies and models available right now, but we are not taking into account right now because in the planning stage, the simulation is the first thing needs to be taken care of.
But
It's
again,
been again ignored. I
again,
feel so.
I agree. Simulation is required, but again, lack of technology to do that, lack of
No,
expertise.
we do have the expertise and
Like
models also.
like what?
There are the softwares, the
Okay.
parking simulation softwares are there, the traffic simulation softwares are there, but we are not widely used because the enforcement is not there to use those
Okay,
such kind of
okay.
technologies.
That way. See, I'm the last maybe decade I spent in working in the GIS industry. So there are a lot of simulations possible using GIS maps also, where like flood analysis, plume analysis, simulating a disaster
Yes.
and being
So it's on the mega level
so.
they are implemented, but on the grassroots level, still we are not implementing it, which is required right
So
now.
that is where what I was meaning when it's a top-down approach. So top
Down
someone will
approach.
say कि we require
Exactly.
a disaster management module to be available in
True, true,
your
true, 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 true,
city.
true, true.
So these people just run around and have a module ready, and
But on the grassroots level,
but
it is not
it's not
implemented,
getting
highly
used.
ignored.
So again, it comes down to the other problem that I
Implementation
said.
level.
Governance is the most important thing.
Important
You
part.
might have the best of the tool possible, but if it is not implemented or not used, or not the knowledge from that is not
True.
acted upon, then it's of no use. Yeah, and I agree. Simulation, a lot of simulations are possible, but it's not
But they're
happening.
ignored,
Yeah.
not happening. Sir, if you were India's smart city advisor, what would be your first decision?
Oh no, that's a too big
Yeah,
question.
hypothetically, you think, okay, today I have to design a smart city. What is my first decision? You think so?
Okay, so I think first decision would be to have a digital platform that basically will become the foundation for the city administrators to basically administer the city, and for citizens to consume various kind of services available from the from the platform. The platform should consist of all the assets, all the roads, utilities, and all the facilities, basically all the citizen details, all the property details on a single platform. On top of that platform, we should have various applications for different kind of use cases from the city administrator point of view. On other applications should be available for citizens to easily consume whatever services are available through the city administration in a very easily and effective manner. And the entire platform should allow various kinds of money transactions to happen, so that revenues generation is smooth for the administrators, and the service consumption is smooth for the citizens. So I think digital platform replicating the entire town is the thing I would start with. It's not that something that's not happening right now. Only thing is, right now different cities are doing it in their own, means they're doing it, but there are what do you call the they everyone has his own, every city has its own approach, and interoperability is sort of missing. Or we better way to say that they are basically working in silos. So there are efforts from the current government also to basically break those silos. They come up with something called Gati, various kinds of projects. I think Gati Shakti is also one project which provides the digital platform with a lot of informations from different cities on a similar kind of trying to make a single digital platform across the country. So that kind of a thing would
You'll
be very,
implement
yeah,
first.
very helpful.
Thank you, sir. It was very, very insightful thing, and our viewers will get really very good, clear knowledge, technical knowledge out of your session.